ever virtual Pro Bowl in Madden NFL 21. This was a groundbreaking experience for fans, where playing Madden actually helped to select 2 Pro Bowl players. The Pro Bowl itself then took place in Madden NFL 21, with Deshaun Watson and Kyler Murray leading teams of NFL stars in highly entertaining broadcasts that aired on Twitch, the NFL Network, and NFL social channels last Sunday. Now the Super Bowl is just a few days away, and we're preparing new content in and outside Madden NFL for the increasing number of players engaging with our franchise around the NFL's championship game. Events like this year's Pro Bowl demonstrate how real-world sports experiences are evolving to become interactive, and you can expect to see us continue to lead here. Our fans are telling us that they want more of what EA Sports can deliver.
We want more
Battlefield.
Battlefield.
More of our games than ever before.
Because we're tired of
They're
hackers.
More time with our content.
In
and
Warzone.
Connecting with each other, the players,
We want
and
Battlefield.
teams, and sport they love through our experiences. We are now set to build on our leadership position with an aggressive expansion plan for EA Sports. We have important announcements we are making today, and more that we expect to make in the weeks ahead, that will lead to more great games and content for fans and significant new growth for our company. We have a major global expansion of our soccer business underway. As the scale of our EA Sports FIFA player audience expands, including a growing Gen Z population, we will offer more great content.
So I guess that's the new generation.
With our long-standing partners across all the top leagues and teams.
Gen G, perhaps?
We are bringing FIFA Online to new territories, including Russia, Poland, and Turkey, with a combined audience of 80 million players. We are also accelerating our focus on mobile, with 6 new soccer mobile experiences in development today for different
focus your attention on Battlefield.
EA Sports is the premier partner for football organizations, leagues, and teams around the world. And today we are announcing that EA Sports FIFA will continue to be the exclusive home of UEFA Champions League football.
That's a no-brainer.
As part of our renewed partnership with UEFA, we'll also be launching new esports competitions, and we'll have even more news in this space in the months ahead.
New esports, okay.
We're bringing new types of experiences to market that will expand the genre. In partnership with K-Lab, we're developing a groundbreaking new mobile experience inspired by the Japanese market, which we believe will have global appeal.
So if you're tuning in, this is the EA Investors Call.
Returning to college football.
Oh, there we go, baby. Let's go.
Football video games. Their passion for this top-selling sports franchise has never wavered. We love college football as well, and today we're very excited to say, yes, we are coming back.
Yes.
We have started work on an all-new next-gen experience, working closely with our exclusive licensing partners at CLC to include the universities, logos, venues, and game day traditions that fans know and love in college football. We will grow the EA Sports portfolio to include experiences in more sports for more fans around the world.
I'm actually kind of shocked at that,
In the weeks and months ahead, we'll make more announcements about our expansion into different sports, including at least one new experience that will launch next fiscal year. We're also incredibly excited to build a racing powerhouse with our proposed acquisition of Codemasters. These are amazing teams that we know very well, and we are adding significantly to our racing portfolio to drive growth. Formula One is one of the few truly global sports and is already seeing unprecedented growth.
So we're getting college football back. Let's go.
And Asia.
FIFA's going to keep rocking.
The combination of EA Sports and Codemasters can take the game franchise to an even greater level. We are awaiting the results of the Codemasters shareholder vote on our offer, which we anticipate having tomorrow, February the 3rd. With the strength of our EA Sports franchises and these announcements today, we're in a position to deliver the world's best sports games and content. We intend to leverage our capabilities in this space to grow to more sports and more experiences, reaching larger audiences in more markets all over the world. These announcements today are just the beginning. For 230 million EA Sports players and viewers, we are providing a social network that enables them to experience more of the sport they love with their friends. We believe we can grow to 500 million players and viewers in EA Sports experiences over the next 5 years. The future of entertainment is interactive, and the future of sports will continue to blur the lines between live sports and emerging.
Are you guys more interested in the sports titles or some of their other key titles?
League partners we are prepared to accelerate the future of sports entertainment. In addition to EA Sports, we are driving growth through our portfolio of more than 20 top live services. I'll give 2 examples from our deep roster of wholly owned IP. We are at the 2-year anniversary of the launch of Apex Legends, and with 30% growth in new players year over year, its success is accelerating. The unique seasons of live service content delivered by our talented Respawn team are expanding the Apex audience, bringing in more players with great storytelling and engaging in-game events. Competitive play in Apex Legends is also reaching and entertaining more viewers, with recent events in November driving new viewership and watch time records. This is an outstanding live service business that continues to grow across multiple dimensions.
So Apex isn't going away. I'm glad to hear that for all the people that love that game.
We will launch on the Nintendo Switch on March 9, and we'll expand further with our Apex mobile game rolling out in FY22. The Sims 4 has grown every year since launch. As we expand the experience, more new and relevant content, we engage a diverse and growing audience spanning players of all ages and demographics. Live to date, more than 33 million people have now played The Sims 4.
Sims isn't for me.
Weekly and monthly average players in the game all reached all-time highs.
But I know it's a weird comparison, but Sims feels like Minecraft to me, like that type of game. Even though I know they're different, but if you really think about it, you'll arrive to why I said that.
We have the ability to bring games to every platform, and we are driving continual expansion of our total addressable market. Mobile continues to be a key opportunity for us. Games like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes continue to be deeply engaging for players and very successful businesses.
Give us another Star Wars.
And we have plans to aggressively grow
with Baby Yoda.
Portfolio. We're also expanding our lead in subscriptions. The groundbreaking integration of our EA Play service with Microsoft Game Pass has accelerated our subscription business.
If you do any type of subscriptions for gaming, comment in the chat.
Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, and our EA client. With more players valuing the subscription model, and with our scale across platforms and
content,
we
GameStop.
are building a strong, growing business with recurrent revenue. We also have new streaming players joining our network through Xbox Cloud Gaming with Game Pass Ultimate and other partners, and we are committed to advancing cloud as a meaningful part of the future of the gaming ecosystem.
They're going to have to get around latency problems, guys. That's the bottom line. Single player, you could do it, but competitive shooters.
Through the challenges of the ongoing pandemic.
I feel like Warzone might be a kind of a test for that as they stream assets.
And we expect that most will continue to do so through September. The creativity and innovation of our talented teams is enabling us to deliver more great experiences in our leading franchises and live services. We have a deep and robust pipeline of new content with more than 35 new games in various levels of incubation and development for the future.
Give us Battlefield, baby. Give us the ones we haven't heard of.
FY22 plans in the months ahead, including our next Battlefield experience, which will mark a return to all-out military warfare.
Let's go!
The game takes full advantage of the power of next-generation platforms to bring massive, immersive battles to life with more players than ever before. Featuring maps with unprecedented scale, the next edition of Battlefield takes all the destruction, player agency, vehicle and weapon combat that the franchise is known for and elevates it to another level.
I want all the destruction.
And the game is ahead of our internal milestones. We'll reveal the game in the spring and deliver a defining Battlefield experience for our players in the 2021 holiday season.
Fuck.
Games helped fill a great need in people's lives.
So that's disappointment.
Our franchises are where so many.
We're not getting Battlefield until holiday season, which is good for them to get all the bugs out. But they have to kill it on this. The dudes that screwed up the last one no longer works for EA.
Into FY22. Now I'll turn the call over to Blake.
Thanks, Andrew. We delivered net bookings well above our expectations this quarter. The beat was driven by our live services, led by outperformance in Ultimate Team and Apex Legends.
Dang.
We delivered GAAP net revenue of $1.7 billion and record net bookings of $2.4 billion.
So Activision did $3 billion alone in 12 months on Warzone, and that game has been broke, except the store.
Measured over the last 10 fiscal years,
And a lot of people don't know this, but FIFA's massive, man.
Annual growth rate
like massive,
nearly
massive.
50%, and Madden at nearly 60%.
That surprises me.
Is on track for its sixth
I think it would be flip-flop because FIFA is
Apex
so much overseas.
Second, at the beginning of what we hope will be a similar long run for this title. I'd iterate and amplify here that we expect Apex to deliver well over $500 million in net bookings this year.
Y'all be buying skins, man.
Expectations of $300 to $400 million. The Apex team has really embraced the playfulness of the characters and gameplay. The team is focused on having more fun in the craft of building and experimenting with new modes and ways to explore the Apex universe and characters. This has been paying off, with a compound average growth rate of 14% per season, as measured from Season 2. That's equivalent to an annual compounded annual growth rate of about 65%.
Yeah, you're an investor. You like that.
The sports opportunity in particular. We estimate the worldwide sports video game software segment is about $7 billion on console and PC today. It's grown by about 13% annually since 2016. We're the leader in that segment and are now applying our full focus to the spectrum of sports opportunities from casual to core. The global gaming market for sports is presently about $4.3 billion in size and growing fast at about 24% a year. We're barely scratching the surface of this massive opportunity, but we have a lot of projects in flight, and you'll hear more about our activities here in the year to come. Operationally, we're working in challenging times, but we've been able to lean into the advantages that come with our scale to deliver games of quality with remarkably little impact on timing. This quarter, we launched FIFA 21, NHL 21, Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit.
I did not buy any of those, but Hot Pursuit would have been one I would have grabbed. Is Medal of Honor, is that mobile title?
Xbox Series X.
There was nothing really for the new consoles, man.
To Stadia.
You think they will announce anything else? Darth, I'm not sure, brother. I know that they've got rumor is that there is another Star Wars game.
We launched Season 7 for Apex.
And I have to believe it because they can't just leave it where it's at.
We launched the Snowy Escapes
package
for The Sims.
You can't just do Battlefield. That's not enough.
Jump in digital sales prompted by COVID appears resilient, with digital representing 62% of units sold through.
They have to. I think as an investor, you have to give a little bit. You got to give more. Like this won't be enough. We'll see this go down. I guarantee it. And quite honestly,
the board this quarter, led by Star Wars: Galaxy of Heroes and FIFA Mobile.
Yeah, unless they think they're just going to go sicko mode on existing titles and skins for Apex, it's not going to be enough to get us to fourth quarter for investors. So they got to have something.
Expectations primarily driven by the phasing of marketing investments. We had a new record in trailing 12-month operating cash flow of $2.06 billion. The quarter was
they need something. Like honestly, just reboot Knights of the Old Republic, 4K or something, or
with the help of Battlefield 1.
I mean, anything.
Needless to say, we're excited about the potential for the next Battlefield in Q3 next fiscal year.
Yo, did he just say Q3?
Expectations for full year GAAP revenue was $5.6 billion.
That would be awfully early.
It would be $1.447 billion and earnings per share of $2.54. Remember that our guidance EPS calculation does not factor in future buybacks under our recently announced 2-year, $2.6 billion share repurchase program. We are reaffirming our operating cash flow guidance of $1.85 billion. We continue to anticipate capital expenditures of around $125 million, which would deliver free cash flow.
I hope this is for the quarter.
$1.725 billion. Please see our earnings slides and press release for further cash flow information.
So, Darth, what do you think? What do they need to do for a franchise? Do they need to buy something?
$75 billion, up $125 million from our prior guidance.
Okay.
This is driven by continued strength in our lower services, particularly FIFA and Apex Legends.
Wow.
$525 million above our expectations at the start of the year, despite the changes we made to the product slate during the year. We expect this year to be 13% over prior year, even with a lighter release slate versus the prior year and an FX headwind of about $55 million. For the fourth quarter, we now expect GAAP net revenue of $1.317 billion, cost of revenue to be $302 million, and operating expenses of $837 million. This results in a loss per share of 7 cents for the fourth quarter. We anticipate net bookings for the fourth quarter to be $1.375 billion, which is an increase of $75 million over our prior guidance.
That's not enough.
We've built a foundation for growth in fiscal 2022. We have successfully brought new people into our ecosystem. We're providing great content for people who want to spend more time there.
It better be Battlefield, guys.
New titles and new
Knights of the Republic would be amazing. Yes, it would, man. Do Knights of the Old Republic, but less of an RPG and more like a where there's a ton of Jedis fighting a ton of Siths, and then do that.
Doing an incredible job. They're way
Tell us
ahead
more.
of where they were in prior product cycles, on track for their earliest feature.
Thank God they can't screw this up.
Meanwhile, the live service teams for FIFA, Apex Legends, The Sims, and Madden all continue to outdo themselves. And of course, we'll have other surprises that will.
Yeah, I know. I feel that. I feel that.
Now I'll hand the call back to Andrew.
So, you know what? I know this sounds corny, but if they picked up a series, you know what would be a good pick? Avatar. Because the new Avatar movies come out, and they've got the muscle to make a good game, and that's such a vibrant world. You could make something fun with that.
Games and content for more players around the world than ever before. Our live services that extend and enhance these experiences are keeping players engaged over the long term. And we are transforming our business for continued expansion, growing our portfolio, and enabling ways for players to connect with each other. And
I don't want to see any more cloud-based services, though. Seriously.
We're looking forward to a strong Q4 and a year of continued growth in FY22. Now, Blake and I are here for your questions.
Like, I want my games on my system, and I want the lowest latency with the highest frames.
Star 1 on your telephone. To withdraw your question, press the pound or hash.
I'm about to star 1 and be like, what the fuck is the date?
Q&A roster.
Darth Maul, and I want to know!
The question comes from the line of Brian Nowak with Morgan Stanley. Your line is open.
Hi guys, it's Matt on for Brian. Thanks for taking the question.
We need a gaming nerd on Wall Street to ask some questions.
So you guys put out a statement last month that you have multiple Star Wars games still in development. I'm just curious.
Waiting to see if this drops.
On those franchises and what we should expect, from 2023 forward. And then just the second one is, at the point that you guys kind of came into the beginning of fiscal Q3, it was on the tail end of the summer. It felt like, parts of the country had partially reopened before, locking down again. So I just wonder what the experience you saw over the course of Q3 was in terms of, had people churned out at the beginning who then came back into gaming, as other entertainment options.
We already know everybody's gaming, bro, and they already answered that question from a staffing standpoint.
Yeah, so let me jump into that in the context of Star Wars.
They're ahead of schedule.
Announcing new things here, but what I would say is if you look at our history with Star Wars. We've had a long and very profitable relationship, first with LucasArts and then with Lucasfilm, and then with Lucasfilm as part of Disney. Mm-hmm. We have generated, a number of great franchises: Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, Galaxy of Heroes,
Darth, we called it, brother.
Jedi
we called
Fallen Order, and most recently Squadrons. That represents over 3 billion life-to-date net bookings and 52 million games sold, and Galaxy of Heroes is a billion-dollar franchise. As we've established these very strong parts of that franchise, you should expect that we will continue to invest in those, as well as some new experiences across platforms for the future. With respect to engagement more broadly, I think that we've seen strong engagement.
There should be a slide.
Throughout the last year. Blake and I have both been relatively conservative, I think, as we look to the future at each moment in time. But we feel good about where engagement has been, and we now feel more confident that the increased engagement we've seen in our experiences is likely to continue on a go-forward basis. Blake, I don't know if you have any more to add to that.
No, I would say, clearly, looking at Q3, in terms of live services, and 24% growth year over year of live services should prove only one simple thing, which is engagement is stronger than we have ever seen. It is spectacular. And it's because we're fulfilling the social
you guys see it here.
connection between people who love the same things, be it some sport, The Sims, Apex, whatever it is. We figured out how to make that happen. And you don't see growth on, $1.5 billion of revenue without knowing that that's what's driving the engagement and the social networks of what we've created. And that's the secret sauce of what we've done.
I have to go back and look and see what came out here.
Great, thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Michael Ng with Goldman Sachs. Your line is open.
They must have announced something, or a service went live. Maybe the EA Xbox thing.
First, just on Battlefield, with first-person shooters using free-to-play game mode.
That's my man right there.
Top funnel. Could you talk a little bit about your ambitions to do something like that with Battlefield?
Yo, let's go! I like this dork.
With us, about the content roadmap. And then my second question is just on the NCAA deal.
That's
for
fantastic.
Those of us who weren't around when you guys were doing, I think Football 14 was the last one. Could you just give us
you feel old. I feel old now.
What the units for, unit demand for that game was like. Is that a good way to think about some of the future NCAA?
There was no competition, so pretty good. Not as big as Madden, though.
On Battlefield, we don't have anything more to share with you at this point, other than we believe that it's going to usher in, a new generation for Battlefield games and Battlefield fans, and we'll be taking, benefiting from the full power of next-gen platforms. And you should imagine that we're looking across all forms of the experience to ensure that this is exactly the game that Battlefield fans want to play, and the game that we believe will drive growth in the Battlefield franchise. But more on that to come in the months ahead, and we're excited to share more on that at the appropriate time. With respect
it is appropriate, bro.
Football game. Again, this was this was kind of part of my past life leading EA Sports. It was a really strong game. It was a fan favorite game. It sold tens of millions of units over its life, and we expect that it will continue to be a really strong fan favorite game. It's measured by the amount of emails I get in my inbox each week requesting us to bring back this game. I think that we could look to the past as a factor for the future, but I'd also say that I think college football as a fan audience has grown dramatically since we launched the last game in 2013. I also think the nature of gameplay has changed dramatically as we think about the future of sports, and you heard us speak to the conversion.
So if you've never played a college football game, it's essentially so close to being like Madden, honestly. But they need to somehow they need to diversify the two, because you're not going to sell both copies. I wouldn't think.
Taking the questions. I have one on Apex and one on FIFA Mobile.
All right, let's go.
So the first one, Apex. Very excited for the Nintendo Switch version coming out in March.
That's fire.
So with close to 80 million Switches sold worldwide, and the fact that Japan is the game's #2 market, can you help us frame the Switch's opportunity to the franchise reaching 1 billion in annual bookings versus growth?
It's a good question because
organic and mobile. And then secondly, on FIFA Mobile, can you expand a bit more on the current strategy in growing that title? I believe you mentioned there's 6 different, FIFA games. Are they going to, be similar with each other, just being localized for each region?
I think they have to do it like that now, because
and, why not
if you want to take advantage of the new platforms, you have to develop for the new platforms. You can't hold the new stuff back. And that's awesome for PC gamers.
Apex, and then Andrew might want to jump on FIFA. So On Apex, clearly, as you said, Japan is the second largest market for Apex, which is very
That blows me away. I would have never guessed that.
And we know that it's one of the largest markets for Nintendo Switch, and that's the reason we decided to put it out on Nintendo Switch. But we also know that Nintendo Switch is a global business, not just a Japanese business. We think the combination of Nintendo Switch Apex plus mobile Apex will be very powerful.
Yeah, you're right, bro. But this is Electronic Arts, not Ubisoft.
Sometime in the next 3 to
and they've
4 months.
Done okay, minus the debacle with
and hopefully gets into the market
Star Wars quickly. And the Heroes.
It will take longer to get into the
Battlefront
in China because of some of the regulatory issues, but in the rest of the world,
that's something we don't want to deal with, guys.
But we also want to make sure it is the exact product that we want. I think the team is very dedicated.
Most of the time, what that comes down to is like anything they deem as being propaganda or blood in a game or something seductive or whatever.
From character development and so forth.
China holds us back big time for
continue to help us.
Imagination and things like that.
Let's all remember, less than 2 years ago, no one knew this product existed. Today, it's over $1 billion. We think there is a huge upside to this product over time, and I just encourage people to keep focused on that because we don't have a mobile product today. We don't have a Switch product today.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
There are still other platforms around the world that we might go
Is
on.
Apex getting better as time goes by, or do you feel like?
For a very long time, and we're trying to
you feel like it kind of is what it is. You like it. You like it. If you don't, you don't.
A 1-year blip. So we're very excited about it.
I feel like it could be a 1-year blip. And that also poses the question.
I think the best way to think about this is soccer is the world's largest sport by a
That's the
wide
truth.
margin.
That's why I thought the Madden and FIFA would be switched with a 60 million, 50 million.
By a wide margin in terms of magnitude of players. What we know about soccer as we travel around the world, and what we know about mobile as we look at the growing player base, is that soccer means different things to different people in different markets. And certainly, as we look at the magnitude of players that come into the mobile ecosystem, they're often looking for different types of experiences with respect to subject matter that they love. And so as we look at our FIFA business, building off the strength of our licensing relationships on a global basis,
yeah, Ghost, I'm with you, brother. Ubisoft, get us Rainbow Six Quarantine. Focus on that.
For different geographies and different player cohorts based on what
they're looking
for, and we think that represents a tremendous growth opportunity for us.
Maybe a Fable type RPG would be nice.
Great, helpful. Thank you both.
So my concern is, like regarding Apex,
comes from the line of Ryan G.
Are they worried about if Battlefield makes a Battle Royale mode?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
Will that
eat
the users from Apex? Because they don't want to.
So I think last quarter was down 7%.
They really need a Battle Royale, though.
This quarter was up.
But they need Battlefield.
But given the timing shift for some of the sports games, I don't know that either quarter is really that representative. So I was hoping you could clarify what the right cadence is for Ultimate Team, since FIFA and Madden launched, and how much live services this quarter may have benefited from subscriptions and Game Pass partnerships with Microsoft and Mike.
A lot.
Yeah, I would say, Ryan, thanks for the question. I'd say the impact on subscriptions is relatively a rounding error. I would say year-over-year growth of 24% would imply that it's a pretty strong business. And last year, based on the numbers I'm looking at, wasn't down. It was up year-over-year. It's been up year-over-year every year for I don't know how many years. So it is extremely strong, and it's strong across.
I mean, yeah, he's not wrong.
Live services.
I mean, you weren't peaked, but
Apex,
like this.
Madden,
Okay, so he wrong.
Honor,
Yo, did he just say Medal of Honor? Yo, let's go.
Even hockey.
What if you do Battlefield as just Battlefield? Medal of Honor as Medal of Honor, but with Battle Royale. That would be the play. That would be the play.
Live services.
Then you don't piss off the Battlefield people, and then you get the. Because I want. Seriously, I miss the Medal of Honor series.
Nice growth. It's still very small compared to
Man,
the overall live services.
Call of Duty and Medal of Honor, they used to just go at it for what was better.
Okay, yeah, I was referring to the down last quarter because there was timing of FIFA where live services was down year-over-year, but I get your point nonetheless. The other question was really just, could you kind of give us your, with the new next-gen consoles out there in the market, can you give us maybe your high-level observations on consumer response and how the pace of adoption?
That's what I'm worried about. We can't have games that are being built for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and expect it costs too much. Development dollars are too expensive. So then what happens is you expect the power of the PlayStation 5, for example, or the next Xbox to push past to muscle through the limitations of shitty code. It's frustrating.
I think anecdotally,
we've been dealing with this on PC forever.
Is extraordinarily high for both consoles.
But then there's hardware limitations.
Both digital and physical are struggling to keep them in stock.
We can thank TSMC for that.
Able to build on those platforms are really, really strong. And as I look to the games that we're going to be able to build on those platforms on a go-forward basis, I'm really excited about the new innovations in creativity and gameplay we're going to be able to deliver. And inevitably, I think that is going to offer a more engaging and immersive experience for our players that will ultimately see growth both in players overall and the time spent in our games.
Honestly,
your next question comes from the line of Todd Younger with Bernstein.
For me personally, I'm sorry if you have a PlayStation 4 or
thanks for taking the question.
An Xbox.
I've also got two. One on basketball.
That's previous generation.
You
need a separate developer doing that.
If you talked about the expansion of sports on lots of dimensions, noticeably absent was any mention of NBA or basketball. I just wondered.
Because NBA 2K is king, baby.
On that, and in particular,
they just could never. Live could not compete with
might be
2K.
A particular opportunity, white space there.
I'm going to say no because the NCAA has way too many licenses
is a potential
that are involved. Like you can't put their names on their jerseys and stuff. So that's kind of a
question on the broad
bummer.
Topic of social. It's a pretty broad question. I'll try and make it short, but I think the word social was mentioned in your prepared remarks multiple times. Surely we all could agree that the convergence of what we call gaming and social is happening in front of our eyes. Fortnite, Roblox. Just wondered how you think about as you evolve.
Where's this
your
dude been, you guys?
Games,
Where's this dude
what
been?
That means for your evolution.
We've been doing this forever.
Opportunities are to take advantage of that. To me, clearly, The Sims
is everybody casuals now?
Are you proactive?
And all of us OGs are the OGs?
To be more sort of aggressive in pursuing that aspect of gaming. Thanks.
Two great questions. First off, no announcements on basketball to make today. I would say two things. One, I think we underperformed on basketball over the last number of years, and that's been very disappointing to us. With that said, we continue to have a really good relationship with the NBA and remain committed to basketball long term. And you should imagine that we are thinking through the best way for us to use the strength of our business, the strength of our technology, and the amazing creativity of our teams to deliver really cool, new, innovative experiences for basketball fans. With respect to social,
I'm sorry, but NBA 2K is just lit.
Yes. Part of what we have recognized now is that our players, particularly over the last year, have been using our games as ways to remain connected with their friends even while they're apart. And you may have heard me say this before, but social interaction is moving from physical to digital more broadly for the Gen Z population, and the consumption of sport and entertainment is moving from linear to interactive for the Gen Z population. And we kind of sit at the very intersection of those two secular trends. And so what we've started to do is really build around our content to ensure that we are providing more social opportunities for our fans. And the Madden Pro Bowl over the weekend was one such example of how we can take our game at the center of a social ecosystem and build around that for fans, both fans who play our games and fans who interact with players of our games. When we think about our sports franchises, when we think about Apex, when we think about The Sims, when we think about mobile on a go-forward basis,
I just don't want too much focus there, honestly. Like for you guys that remember the browser-based like battle stats for Battlefield, it was just cumbersome, and I mean it was cool, but that's not really social. Like when I think of social, I think like death chat, proximity chat, leagues that are set up, ranked systems, so we're not doing any of the skill-based matchmaking that's just pissing people off or any of that stuff. I hope they're learning. I really hope they're learning.
Thanks a lot.
Your next question comes from the line of Mike Hickey with Benchmark Company. Your line is open.
Is his name Mike Hickey?
Hey, Andrew, Blake, Chris, and congrats on the quarter, guys. Thanks for taking my questions. Just two as well. The first one on your BioWare studio, it looked like you've had a few more executives
this is interesting.
turn over there. I think Casey and Mark left the studio. Can you update us on the executive leadership at BioWare and the product roadmap from those guys would be helpful. And then on Star Wars, obviously that license is not exclusive. It seems like you'd probably be doing less SKUs. How do you think about sort of realigning your development resources and broadly speaking, how do you think about licensed IP versus owned IP in the sort of non-sports category? Thanks, guys.
Two great questions. First off, on BioWare, again, that is an incredible studio filled with incredible people who do, incredible work. And I think that from the outside world, there have been some blips in their delivery of the last couple of years, but that has come as a result of them pushing deeply into innovation and creativity. And we feel very, very confident about their future roadmap. And we've talked about games like Dragon Age and Mass Effect in their future. With respect to Casey and Mark leaving, again, both good friends of mine. We have tremendous respect for both of them. But this happens in the natural course of creative organizations from time to time. And we feel very, very good about the ongoing leadership of that studio and the many people who come to work every day to deliver, great innovation and creativity. And we look forward to sharing more about what's coming from BioWare in the near future. And you will have just seen, our Mass Effect Trilogy Legendary Edition announced, and that has been extraordinarily well received by BioWare fans. And so, we're encouraged by what that studio will continue to deliver. In terms of Star Wars, I don't think you should imagine that the fact that some other people will build some Star Wars games is going to change our commitment to that IP or our ability to build.
I don't like that at all, honestly.
And as I said before,
I like to see one dev stick to one franchise, honestly.
Before our exclusive
or one publisher, not dev.
To really establish some very strong franchises like Battlefront, like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, like Jedi Fallen Order, like Squadrons. You should expect us to continue to invest in our Star Wars relationship. It's been very profitable to this point, over $3 billion in net bookings. And we're excited by what we'll be able to do in the future.
Who else can afford to grab that franchise? It's not like Disney's just handing it out. I hear they got their hands all over that.
As a company, is that we believe in our ability to execute and deliver great, high quality, deeply engaging content for our fans across both our sports business, our wholly owned IP business, and our licensed partnership business like the one we have with Star Wars. And we feel confident and comfortable that we're going to be able to deliver great games for the future.
Okay. Give us more Battlefield. Give us more Star Wars, guys. You got to give something.
Next question comes from the line of.
Or we're going to see that stock go straight down after hours.
Okay, thanks. Hey, guys. Good afternoon. Question on Codemasters and as it relates to your commentary on sports and the accompanying growth rates by platform. How has racing as a genre performed and how quickly...
This is a good question. I wondered. I used to get all the Need for Speeds.
On the Codemasters
I love Dirt, but it just...
My second question pertains to your guidance.
You guys still play racing games?
Earnings, you suggested that
I mean, Forza and Gran Turismo, like, and Need for Speed too, though.
Next-gen consoles and Battlefield serving as the key drivers. Now you fast forward to today, your comp will presumably be much higher than where you thought it would be, but you still have those two pieces in place, plus you're adding Codemasters, and you've talked about a number of initiatives.
Did they buy Codemaster?
Today. So given that, is
let's look here and see if they bought them.
22 remotely possible?
Because I did not hear that, man.
Yeah, let me start with the second question. We wouldn't come out and say that accelerating growth was possible, or we're confident of it if we weren't confident of it. I mean, what we're saying is,
holy shoot,
we believe that the
December
trends that
14th
we see in this year's business will continue.
1.2 billion. That's it.
Year, and
what? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Put in place.
It's for them. This is third quarter for fiscal year.
And so we're clearly thinking and saying we see coming off of the year.
I was about to rage, bro. He said next year. He means next fiscal year.
We're now telling people we're close to $6.1 billion in revenue, and we're telling people we're going to grow again next year. I think you guys should take that as an incredible level of commitment and confidence on where the business is going. Absent even additions from
I mean, that doesn't sound like some bullshit. His job's to sell, but that sounds pretty legit to me. And if he says organic growth, that typically means
a lot of spin right now in the marketplace around the fact that we decided to capitalize part of the GILTI tax regime's R&D expenses in our fourth quarter to try to get behind it. Because we had a strong year, and so the
so typically organic growth is a model that consists of skins, organic content that comes out like Warzone.
What is going to be a tax cost for every company out there that gets hit by GILTI, and we're trying to be aggressive and stay in front of that. But the cash impact of that is minimal.
So there must be a new law or something.
We think in a year in which we are already well above our EPS and our earnings, it was the exact right thing to do. And I'm not sure why everyone wants to spin on that, but I would dig in a little bit, ask the questions, and make sure you understand what that really means. I know that's not the question you asked, but I want to make sure it's clear to everybody that that's exactly what's going on right now. Now, Codex on its own could be a nice addition to the company. We know that they have some incredible franchises. The F1 franchise is so
nascent. Fire. But you're not going to sell
for them. We know if you're
not going to sell buku.
There's very little F1 racing going on in the US, and yet we know that the owners of F1 would like to build an F1 business in the US. We know that there's still.
I don't know about you guys, but for me,
probably one of the best growth opportunities there is, and the reason that we're willing to pay what we were willing to pay for it. On top of the fact that the Dirt franchise, the Grid franchise,
Grid is fire.
All of their franchises are incredible games, but none of
they
them
are graphically physics.
Advantage of a large publishing organization and a marketing muscle.
And they do a lot with those, but that's the thing. F1, like the simulation,
not to mention
racing games, not as fun to me. But I know some people love them. Remember EA? They were NASCAR was crazy, and you just go in a freaking loop, dude.
A FIFA-sized business, but we know there is incredible opportunity to own essentially all of the driving business there is. So with that passionate answer, I've forgotten what your other question was. So
I felt that. He's like, bro, it's late.
The racing genre. Yeah, how racing is performed as a category.
Well,
did you see that?
We know
stupid.
That every year we put out a Need for Speed, it does extremely well. It's one of those kind of games that
it's
if
fun,
mom goes into
but not for very long.
Or goes online and doesn't want her son or daughter to be playing something that might look, a little too competitive or might be too sports oriented, driving has always been an incredible opportunity in the marketplace. And we know it's not going to be the size of FIFA, but we believe that there is a huge potential, particularly as you think about the growth of the underlying franchises that we might be able to help drive. And that's why we're so excited about it.
Thanks, Blake.
That sounds fair to me, but like we need more, man. They
with Truist Securities.
Let's see this.
Open.
Hey, good afternoon, Andrew and Blake.
Okay, so
thanks
it's
for taking the question.
leveling out.
Maybe two, if I could. One, just touching back on Codemasters again, and then just one on some of the FIFA mobile and online initiatives. On Codemasters, can you talk maybe just conceptually about what a cadence could look like in that genre? Because obviously you already have Need for Speed on the docket.
They spent 1.2 billion trying to acquire these guys. I don't know how it's that big of a deal, honestly.
Plus a rally title, plus a street title.
Unless they're gonna dissolve, exactly. Unless they're gonna dissolve some of those racing titles, focus the talent of that team on Need for Speed,
secondly, and I apologize if you hit
or
on this,
a new franchise.
Initiatives around FIFA Mobile, the 6 games in development, as well as the PC online 4 expansion to more markets. Any timeline color you could provide and kind of when that commences, when it starts, when we start to see developments, and how fast that kind of happens. Any color there would be helpful. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so let me on Codemasters, it's still early, too early for us to kind of be able to outline all of that. Again, the deal hasn't closed yet. But as I think about this as an opportunity, I start with the fact that we would be able to bring together all of the greatest racing talent in our industry, or most of the great racing talent in our industry. When I think about taking that collection of talent and pointing them at Need for Speed, pointing them at Formula One, pointing them at Grid, pointing them at Dirt, and thinking about how all of that might happen with regular launches of those titles, with really strong live services wrapped around them, which we don't yet see in the Codemasters games, all powered by the leverage of the marketing organization that we have behind us. I think the opportunity is really, really strong. And so you should imagine that as we think about this, Need for Speed, which is already one of the leading racing franchises that we launch every other year, we think there might be opportunities around growth of releases and certainly growth of that title. We think that F1 plus live service plus our marketing muscle is a profound opportunity. And we think that Grid and Dirt also represent, great new additions to our portfolio. But the big win here is bringing together what we believe is going to be the greatest collection of racing talent in the industry.
That's just that's a saturated market, guys. You guys, right? That's saturated.
You will have seen, and we talked about this. Even our existing FIFA Mobile game has grown year over year. Our FIFA Mobile Asia game continues to expand and has grown year over year. We are working with K-Lab in Japan on a Japanese-inspired game, focused on the Japanese market that we believe will have global appeal. But Jeff Karp, as he's come into our mobile organization, we've consolidated that organization. We've brought all of sports and all our other mobile titles together. And we have identified sport, and particularly soccer, as a really, really big global opportunity. As a background, Jeff at one time ran marketing for EA Sports many, many years ago. On leaving EA, he ran a number
Good to see some veterans on these, though.
And it's come back and it's having a tremendous impact on that business. And so no more announcements specifically today, but you should expect over the next year or two that we're going to roll out growth in this business.
Again, if you would like to ask a question,
I'm thinking that's not enough, guys.
Your next
honestly,
question comes from the line of Andrew Marak with Raymond James. Your line is open.
Hi, thanks for taking my questions. With the news on FIFA today, I guess if we could just get some of your updated thoughts on how you're thinking about the market opportunity for FIFA and Madden on Stadia, and to the extent that it's relevant.
Oh, that's
are there
interesting.
Any learnings to take away from Jedi on the platform so far that could be brought to sports? And
not so. Does anybody in chat use Stadia?
Really just has the one core game mode right now.
The latency I can't do, man.
If you're looking into options like Switch and mobile, could that potentially expand? And in that case, would that put increased overlap with Battlefield on the table? Thanks.
Apex, perhaps, but not the others.
On Stadia, again, this is early. We believe that cloud is going to have a tremendously positive impact on total addressable market in our industry over the long term. We also think that cloud is going to offer all kinds of new innovation, creativity about the types of games we can build when we can harness the power of cloud compute at the edge. And
that's true, but that's only for streaming, and so that's the thing. You have to be able to stream assets for that to work. And then you've got large packets and small packets where you need small packets to talk back and forth to server client, but you need larger packets to bring down the assets, and you're going to introduce latency, honestly.
I would just come back to Respawn are amazingly creative as a studio. They've built, unbelievable games.
Are they solely focused on Apex now, I'm assuming, because they made so much money? Over $1 billion, 1.3 billion.
Launched their 8th season. Every season adds new characters and new gameplay and at some point new maps. You should imagine that team is thinking about how to...
I need to spin up Apex. It's been a long time, man.
And we'll be excited to share more about that in the future.
Great, thank you.
I never really cared for the world, but the engine feels good, and I love Titanfall.
From the line of Tyler Parker with
those were some of the original Infinity War guys.
Hey, thanks, guys. I just wanted one more question on college football. Without student-athlete images and likeness this time, it's going to look a bit different than historically. So I'm curious what
That's why it failed last time, honestly, guys.
Gamers' motivations.
I talked about that earlier.
Players.
Can't even put their names on the back of their jersey.
How does that going to look, and how do you expect them to react to a game that doesn't have, necessarily student-athlete names and likeness in there? Thanks.
You might remember that, our last game also didn't have student name and likeness.
Why it failed, honestly.
The game has always been built on the power of the relationship that fans have with their colleges. We'll have over 100 colleges.
Okay, so that's true, but like...
and on-field pageantry that makes college football great.
But you could just play Madden. If you like college football, you like NFL, right?
Really compelling college
That's true, right?
With all of those components in partnership with schools across the country. And the response that we've had...
I guess they'll save a lot of development costs is just same engine, just throw another skin on it. It's almost like a double dip to me, honestly. It's a bummer. The reason they do that is so student athletes aren't... There's no...
Your next question comes from the line.
It just boils down to
MKM Partners.
Like the
line is open.
You can't pay student athletes outright,
two questions.
so they
Blake, I
don't use their likeness. They don't use their name or anything like that.
Non-GAAP guidance for operating expenses is like $718, $19 million.
If they could break that deal with the NCAA, that would be worth. But then they would probably cannibalize the NFL sales, because people buy college, because the college football always comes out before Madden. So
and should that carry over into next year as well? And then I'll follow up question for Andrew.
I bring the asshole questions.
Think about it, Eric, as a couple of things. One is we've continued to try to do everything possible to support our workforce in a work-from-home mode and a COVID support. And so you can assume that some portion of those expenses are associated with that, and they may be expenses that would drift into next year. Second is we are having...
What expenses? VPN?
One of the best years we've ever had.
Meraki devices so that they could,
it means we want to take advantage,
connect to their internal network while they're not physically sitting there.
Hire people, particularly when other companies are not able to do that. And we think this is a unique
Everybody can do
for
that.
us to go out and continue to try to grow great teams.
But when you've got teams of people collaborating, that can be easy.
Have, a group of people just sitting around doing nothing that are waiting to build college football. We're going to need to grow a team to do that. We think it's the right thing to do. I think, manage the economics of our teams well. But we're going to continue to hire people, particularly in a time in which we've been able to prove to our employees and those people.
So they've talked about Battlefield quite a bit. So what we know is it's coming out
that's driving some
end of
the
it would be end of next year, but this is third quarter. This is the third quarter fiscal year, so it's not like December to January.
So with that,
if I had to guess, I'm gonna guess October at the earliest, maybe November, maybe mid-November, depending. They said they're way ahead of schedule, and it's going to be unprecedented. And they're not exaggerating on that. And based on what they're talking about in terms of earnings, how they expect it to be organic, I would expect that we're either going to see a model. Oh, and they mentioned Medal of Honor. Like, whoa, what is that all about? Haven't heard that in ages. But when they mention organic growth, typically that involves skins, you know, basically your Warzone type model, Rainbow Six type model. And what we've heard is a lot of people complaining regarding Battlefield 6, and we don't want Battle Royale. I want Battle Royale, but I want Battlefield 6. I want both. But they could bring back, like, they could make a Battlefield 6 that's all like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. You know, so it's just that. Then they could do Medal of Honor, kind of double dip with the awesome story mode, and add it like a BR to that. That would be freaking sick. Because Firestorm was fun, man, but it was just too late. It was too far behind. They need them to come out together. Like, you can't push out a mode 4 months later or whatever, because the title dies down. And the people that screwed up Battlefield 5, all the social justice warrior stuff that went on with that, and the dude's just arrogance, but don't buy our game. Well, people didn't buy your fucking game. Well, he's out, so he's working on a third-party Battlefield style game.
Around each of our major franchises, we think about user-generated content as a very central strand.
So this is a big deal, especially for someone like me, who's the fastest fucking gamer in the world.
Hey, thank you very much.
All right, but on a serious note, that's something they need to do. They need to work with the content creators. They've never really done that very well in the past. These guys, they want to sell stock. And that's the big thing.
Thank you for participating.
And when you sell, and that's all this is. I mean, they want to sell. They want to sell the stock, and that's what they're there to do. But I think for people that listen to that, you can clearly hear that there's swag and there's confidence in regards to what's coming. I honestly don't think that was enough, but I truly think that there will be some behind the scenes stuff right now, where, and the fact that we didn't see this fluctuate very much, that's kind of disappointing too. Yeah, I know it's after hours, but I think that if they would have dropped a bomb, we would have seen that climb significantly, but maybe they don't want that right now. I could think of a couple reasons why. I mean, you don't want it to be down, but you don't really want to see it spike up and then kind of tether out or drop, quite honestly. So they should have given us, like, we need a new franchise. I'm just going to say it. The fact that my biggest takeaway is that there is going to be a ton of freaking race games, man, which is cool if you're into that. But I mean, did you guys, anybody buy a race game lately? This dude didn't. I love the Need for Speed series, honestly. But like, that's time. Like, you don't, I mean, how long do you play that? 4 months, maybe max. And that's while you're juggling it with other titles, honestly. So, lots of awesome racing games coming out. Awesome that they got Codemasters, but I honestly believe that we will see the talent of that team probably broken up, and they will be put into various teams on EA's franchise, in addition to that, or maybe they're going after the engines. I don't know. But I don't think we're going to see that's going to be absorbed almost like immediately. They won't keep it separate like you've seen with like Blizzard and Activision, honestly. But back to Battlefield, and Medal of Honor, that's huge. Now if it turns out to be some Medal of Honor freaking mobile game. Oh my gosh. I know that the growth potential is massive. Like here in the US, like we're down with their mobile games, but dude, overseas, like man, in India and China, places like that, they are into mobile games, man. I mean, like we ain't got nothing on that for real. But you know, here's my prediction. Because we're already hearing whining about Battlefield and any potential BR, despite people like pretty much on their hands and knees begging. Because now all of a sudden, Call of Duty, they're like, man, you love to root for the underdog. I mean, that's just the way it is. Unless it's your team, that's a fact. That's just how we do it in America. So if it's just not, if it's not your team, you're probably rooting for the underdog. Right now, EA is the underdog. That's how I see it. You've got Activision, who is completely taking advantage of everybody, man. Their patents that nerf players real time in game. Like, bro, that's cheating. Imagine if we're watching the Super Bowl and, Mahomes goes to throw a pass and right before it goes into, you know, pick a receiver because they're all loaded, the ball shrinks. It's like, what the, like real time. Or an NBA player gets a steal and he's going down court, nobody's on him. He's going up for the dunk. He's getting ready to flush it, and then boom, the goal shrinks. That's what they're doing. I mean, their patents literally, and when I say literally, I mean it by the definition of the word, will give players real time. So you and I have equal guns. You're a higher skilled player than I am. When I start to shoot you with the same gun, I will do more damage. I will get stronger aim assist. I will pretty much have that gap narrowed. And I'm sorry, but that's everybody gets a trophy. I don't want to win like that. But their contention is Activision is that for every crazy fragger that goes out and just goes absolutely sicko mode in in Warzone, you're literally losing Johnny six packs or six casuals. If you come in and you just absolutely decimate a lobby because you're just good, you're just good, that's all, then they're okay with you getting nerfed. And let's not even digress on their patents, how if you buy a new skin, you're going to get easier lobbies. Like we're seeing that is a thing. If that's not pay to win, or the recent operator that's fucking invisible. You cannot make this shit up. He's invisible until you ADS. Now, they did pull it out of the store. I went and looked for him just because I was like, this can't be real. I don't buy operators, and that's not how I want to win anyway. I want to win by flicking on people and making crazy ass plays and, you know, being in Diamond 1 lobbies and playing against really skilled players. That's how I want to win. Or some asshole that shoots you in the air and then you just turn around and just hit him with the GN. But you know what though? Even it doesn't even matter, because whatever that boils down to, you're doing the opposite of what it should be like for this. And EA, they're not going to do that in Battlefield. They're not going to do that in Medal of Honor. But the point is, Activision right now, I mean, dude, they are the underdogs, honestly. I mean, the skill-based matchmaking, I think everybody is tired of, honestly. Man, it's not good people wanting to just take craps all over, weaker players. That's not it at all. It's just when you come home from work after an 8-hour day or whatever the case may be, you don't want to have a sweat fest, do you? I mean, I play the game for memes now. That's why my series, people say crazy things on death chat's been so fun for me, because I get a kick out of that stuff. But when it first came out, man, I was sweating to death. Like I had to keep a high KD. I had to keep my wins up. But after a while, some of the stuff with the game, you're like, man, that's not normal. Even on a 1v1 last night, I mean, you could see the person teleporting in a 1v1, man, with like a 3 millisecond ping. I don't know if it's I don't know, I don't put it in my comments, but man, dude, I mean, I've got a 5950X, a 3090 for the win on an overclocked BIOS. I'm a couple billionths of a second away from breaking the world record for latency. I mean, if I was less lazy, I would probably go for that. I'm not saying I'd get it, but my PC is fast on a 1v1 where I'm hosting. with a 1 millisecond latency and the other person having a 3 millisecond latency. We shouldn't be seeing that, man. We shouldn't be seeing that. And the fact that when you look at this game, you know, it looks cool, but bro, I'm telling you, if you've got Battlefield 4, they had an update in September. Dude, I mean, not only is it 3 times performance-wise better, the hit detection, oh, it's good. To me, the guns don't feel quite as good. They're good, but I just like, I mean, Rainbow Six Siege is my favorite game, so I want the gun to feel alive to me. So I like the more recoil and stuff like that. Battlefield doesn't have a lot of that, but the hit detection, that's what they got. Like if you shoot somebody in the head, you shot him in the head. Early on, it seems like for a lot of the Battlefields, they always have some, you know, there was rubber banding on the last one. Well, that was actually the one before. Battlefield 5, that's where we had all the controversy with the social justice stuff, where it's kind of like, man, this series was always about realism in terms of historical events, not necessarily gameplay, but like you took that away. So that was just poor vision, and like quite honestly, they should have seen that coming. But even Modern Warfare, to me, it's like, dude, I feel like honestly, if you go back and you watch Infinity Ward talk about Modern Warfare, legit, you're like, okay, this is the game I want to play. I want to feel like a SEAL. I want to feel like a Spec Ops guy. I want to feel like, the going dark. I want to feel all that, and that's how it was. Like the time to kill was faster, but people complained, and Activision's got to be like, cha-ching. This is art, people. This isn't this is more money making than you have in the movie industry. Like facts. So you got to let the artists do it, and it's like me playing Black Ops the other day. Not a fan of that game. It's not bad. I'm just not a fan of it. It feels like you're kind of on roller skates, and my KD is really good, so you're not going to hear me complain about the skill-based matchmaking on that, because I haven't felt it, quite honestly. But I don't have a lot of time on it, so maybe it just hasn't gone to effect. That would really just frustrate people, like people have been frustrated. But also, I do pretty well in first-person shooters, and I would definitely be probably, maybe better than an average lobby, maybe. But yeah, there's just a lot going on with, you know, Activision and EA, where EA can really just solve a lot of problems, man. Just coming up with just listening. All they have to do is listen, and that's to the right people. Because if people are saying don't put a BR, don't put a BR, don't put a BR in there, please understand that they're saying don't put a BR in there at the risk of not having a good Battlefield mode. Like honestly, that's what people are saying. Like don't compromise the integrity of the Battlefield feeling, and I'm talking 3 and 4, and even 5. It's good. They did a lot better with that, but don't compromise that for a BR, right? You can do both, but I still think the smarter play would be to have wouldn't that be, dude? Tell me this wouldn't be fire. You come out with let's say Medal of Honor. You throw a zombies in there, because why not? And then, I mean, Activision did Ground War, so I mean that's kind of like trying to be Battlefield. So you do zombies, and you do BR mode. There's your new Medal of Honor series. That's your reboot. That's what I think. That's what I want to. That's what I want to see. And then you don't freak out the people. And it can be all the same guns, man. You just move them on over. So you're killing two birds with one stone, and you're kind of double dipping, really. Or maybe they'll do if they follow Activision's model, they do a free BR based on Battlefield and make it completely separate than Battlefield, so the two aren't touching at all. And that's how the browser is set up, because if you have Battlefield, it's like, well, I mean, COD followed the tracks. I mean, you could launch Battlefield 5, and then you get bored of that, you just turn around and you go right to Battlefield 3 or whatever. So maybe that's how they'll do it. But I think for me, they needed more in that investors call. And this kind of balanced out. It dropped more than it came up just a little bit. But I would wager right now heavy that we're going to start seeing leaks in the next by Friday. We'll call it now. It's second. We'll start seeing leaks by Friday. Some serious leaks on the next Battlefield, because anybody that listened to this investors call is going to be a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't throw a shit ton of money at $148 a share, literally, at Electronic Arts right now, because I don't see Apex just really going off. And also, if you look, I mean, here we go. Here's January, right? This is for 2020, and then you coming down, and then you always got that slump, and this slump here, like, quite honestly, is where, like, if your stock's not splitting, for the game industry in general, that is because there's no titles, man. Or there might be one or two. I remember when there used to be like one good title in March, and you always kind of looked forward to it, but I don't know what's coming in March. I did see one. It was like the day, let's see, it was called the day before. Yo, this right here, bro. Jack Frags did a video. My man's Jack Frags. This is a good dude. Look at this. Actually, no, let's not look at this. We'll look at Frag's video here. I'll have to look and see where that came from, because there was a demo out for it. I'd like to play it. They have a here. Let's do this.
Come out of nowhere. So I saw the thumbnail on my recommended. I was like, looks pretty cool. I'll check it out. Turns out, on the surface, this is a really awesome looking open world multiplayer survival game, and they just dropped this gameplay demo.
I hope this comes through.
We would take a look at it
as good as it actually freaking looks.
What's going on here? So this game is developed by a team called Fantastic. Not really heard of them before, but looked them up.
It's a Russian squad.
Games so far. One called The Wild 8, which is a co-op survival game, and the other called Radiant One, which is a top-down short story adventure game. And this caught my eye because, I mean, look at it. Like, it looks gorgeous, doesn't it? A mix between The Division, Last of Us, DayZ, and it reminded me a lot of the old survival games that I used to play.
Definitely Last of Us and Division.
All right, I have found a great cowboy hat.
Nice Matthew McConaughey reference there. We're in this downtown area, checking all the vehicles for loot. Just found a nice cowboy hat.
I would never be walking through. I'll be cover to cover, baby. I'm sorry.
Survival colony. From what I read online,
I don't care if there's nobody looking on the street.
Survival colonies are social hubs, I suppose, where you can craft weapons, you can sell your gear, you can buy gear, you can make alliances with other players.
I just want my gear
travel
that I want to kill
into the world. So
and I'm not a fan of third person
we don't know how many players
any games, but man, well,
gorgeous lighting and atmosphere.
I'll take that back. I do like some third person games, but I'd rather play a first person shooter. But this is definitely, I love Last of Us, man. I beat that over and over again.
We've got a cold meter, an energy meter, and a thirst meter underneath. I guess that's the guy's
So we got a
health.
lot of
And you'll see
choppy
how that
frames
all
right
comes
there.
into play in the next scene. So if you play any other survival games, I think this will be quite familiar to you. It looks like it's following that same mold, not particularly doing anything innovative in that respect.
Not to sound weird, but the Russian developers, they do a really good job with the level detail. Look at Escape from Tarkov, man.
There's a squad of
the developers in that region they do a really good job.
And you can hear them, so perhaps this game's got proximity voice comms, but he's adopted that stealthy crouch last.
See, that's how I've been walking down the streets like that.
Familiar. He's outnumbered and they start shooting at him. He fires back with the pistol. Takes one of them out.
This is the slowest guy ever, y'all. Or it's the frames, honestly.
Throws a grenade. Wipes that player out.
That looks tight, though. Look at all the debris.
Player just makes a run for it on the right. Gets him with a little tag.
So it looks realistic for the damage. I like that. Like Division, bro. I'd get so frustrated shooting somebody with like 5 magazines. I'm like,
shotgun and some rations.
Die, please, please.
His buddy radios and says that.
Oh, you don't want his draws, bro? You left his underwear, man.
Runs outside, and a snowstorm is coming in, and you notice that the
cold meter this here, starts to go
down. So your temperature is obviously
I like that.
part of the survival.
So he got a homie. See that? That's tight. Like if you
the AI infected.
There we go, baby. So now that I can get behind. I mean, think about the memes on this, honestly. I'll run right towards my partner that's telling me he's out of ammo, and I leave them zombies with him. Make my getaway.
And as he turns
Yo, let's go.
Zombies run through.
Literally, I need an unlimited ammo mod for that, because I'm fighting them dudes. I ain't getting in the elevator.
That looks so much like the Last of Us inventory.
So he's got a splint if he drops too far, it looks like. That's pretty cool.
So we've got those kind of mechanics in.
Oh shit.
And outside the elevator, there are just some idle, docile zombies.
Yep, ain't trying to do that, bro.
Seems that stealth is a big
honest to God, every single person in the Death Awaits You Syndicate,
trying to find his friend,
Day Clan, I'm telling you right now, they would have started shooting. Honestly, they'd be like, "All right, I guess we're gonna fight." Literally, there's no way we would sneak through this.
Very atmospheric.
Yeah, I love that. The how it feels like you're really there. We just don't get it. We don't get enough of that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
At the moment, it says that this is only out on PC as well. But I assume if they have a good launch, then maybe bring this to console.
So that's good. Okay? So don't panic, console fraggers out there.
Absolutely destroyed by a zombie. And then that's the end of the demo. Coming soon. No idea.
It's not a good way. See, this dude he looked like he's battle hardened.
So far. But I thought that looked pretty neat, and I wanted to share it with you guys.
Yeah, that does look pretty neat. So stuff like that there, that's I'm trying to see that. Like I'll play that for sure. Like that's going to be a lot of fun. Escape from Tarkov, I like that, but there's a couple things that push me away from that game, like the way they do the aiming. It's impossible to build any type of muscle memory in that game, and I have a problem with that, especially because I like to play competitive shooters. So that's an issue. But this here, just for fun, hanging out with your homies, feeling the world, like it's alive, like you're really there. That attention to Last of Us, I felt was like that. And did you know Insomniac? They thought they thought that game was gonna bust, bro. The first scene of that when you're trying to get away and your daughter, oh my gosh, dude, that hit hard, man. That hit so hard. Just like dang. Helpless. Play helpless. No, I didn't play Last of Us 2. I'm just gonna say it. I didn't watch anything on it after the beginning of the stuff. And then I heard some things and I was like, nope, you ain't doing my man's Joel like that. I don't want any part of it. And that will be a franchise that I will love forever, having stopped after The Last of Us and being done with it. So I don't know if anybody else was like that, or if they're like, oh, I'm getting it, I'm gonna play it and see if it's see if it turns out to be BS, or I don't care. But man, I was invested in those characters, man. I want to invest in this world. I want to feel like I'm inside the game. I don't want to be at my rig, moving the controls and stuff like that. I want to be there, making all those moves like I would in real life, man. I think that's what gaming is. Battlefield, they got to get that down, man. Taking over the maps, getting in the jets, the helicopters, dude. A coordinated team in Battlefield, oh my. And it's still thriving with the audio, the visuals, I mean, all of it, man. The graphics, I cannot believe are as good as they are for that game's age. It's how does it look that much better than COD? Honestly, and don't make excuses. Well, Verdansk is a bigger map. Come on, man. Rebirth. That's a fourth of the size of bigger Battlefield map. So I don't even want to hear that. And there's vehicles, and there's just as many players. Actually, more. So I don't know. I do miss that. No more modding on Battlefield. So, but yeah, well, we'll see, guys. I would have liked to hear Would have liked to have gotten more Battlefield news. We didn't, but we did get that little Medal of Honor, little tidbit. Something to look forward to. And maybe that'll be the slump for next March when we see the trends go down like they always do. They'll capitalize off Battlefield, and then when that tethers out, because you know how it is, you launch October, November, then literally right after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, right around, like literally right around Christmas or the day after, boom, it's half price. So there's that. And then that's about it. Everybody that bought it pretty much bought it, and then it's, you know, lower sales, but they're steady. But then March is all but dried out. So maybe everybody's tax money's gone or whatever. But that would be a good time to drop a Medal of Honor, especially if you're just trying to test it again. But dang, man, if we get Battlefield, Quarantine, because we didn't get anything this year. Like, I felt like we got new consoles, but this was honestly, in my opinion, the worst console launch ever. Like, seriously, they did it. For me, there wasn't any real motivation to buy a console. The Xbox One X is amazing. The PlayStation 4, PlayStation, I mean, they have just the best exclusives, honestly. But with now, what you'll see of a game like this, the day before, with the new architecture being so similar to PC architecture, in most cases pretty much identical, minus Sony. Oh my gosh, why did you have to try to get all fancy with the hard drive, man? Why'd you have to do that? Because one, it has to be developed for. That costs more money from developers, and then that hurts. I mean, just the R&D, in which you probably could have bought better parts and not be outmuscled by the Xbox so easily. It's always something, man. But the point is, with what we tend to deal with on PC, is you get a console game, a game that's developed for consoles, and then you take the power of the PC and you make up for shitty code when they port the game. But we're going to see less and less of that going forward, unless they're making the, like, say the supply chain's low for that, it continues to be low for the Xbox and the PlayStation. If you guys don't know why that is, that's pretty obvious. AMD's putting chips in both CPU and GPU. Well, there is obviously the commercial market where you've got their chips and, you know, chips meaning CPUs, and then they just launched their new line of GPUs, which for the first time, I think I'm going to be honest with you when I say 14 years, I think that's accurate for GPU at the higher end to be competitive. That's a lot of hype, but in any case, they don't fab those chips; they outsource them. So there's that. There's memory shortages. There's a whole series of events. There's a pandemic that's slowing things down, and I just hope that the adoption rate is high enough for the Xbox and the PlayStation 5 so that we will see. Oh, thanks, G. I hope that. Huh? I just hope that the adoption rate is high enough to where we don't lose. We're not losing the potential with you know, something as something that was made for PlayStation 4. Like, please God, no. Put a separate dev on it. Divvy them out if you have to, man. You know, don't do that to us. We got super powerful hardware. Send it. That's it for me, guys. We'll see what happens, man. I'm calling it now. Look for some serious leaks on Battlefield by Friday. That's my my prediction. So appreciate you guys. I'll be streaming later, man. If you want to see me stacking bodies on Warzone, I'll do it. Rainbow Six Siege, I'll do it. Man, I'm tempted to spin up Battlefield, but you know, it's just so good. What do you do? Just play that nonstop now? Maybe. That is the thing, guys. You stop playing your games because they get unfun there for a while. And go back and play them. Go back, pick them up again. It's easy to forget how fun that shit is. I promise you. When I spun up Battlefield 4 for the first time in ages, dude, I was blown away. I'm like, oh my, this is so fun. Literally streamed for like 5 or 6 hours. My intentions were to stream for maybe 2 hours, And I was starting out level 0. I was like, doo-doo, bro, straight doo-doo. But man, we were vibing. It was so much fun. Putting C4 on the vehicles, jumping off them, blowing shit up, all of that. Did they mention cheaters? Oh, bro. Oh, you know what, man? You know who mentioned cheaters? This guy mentioned cheaters over and over again because I'm tired of it. Dude. Okay, man. Let's talk about this. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'm gonna do it. Dude, skill-based matchmaking, people don't want it. All right, I'm a diamond player across the board. TheBrandonAF, look me up. The Brandon, pound 11212 on BattleNet. Diamond across the board. I don't want to be in easier lobbies. All right, I just don't care. I just want to have fun, man. That's where I'm at. If you work a 6-hour day, right, an 8-hour day, a 10-hour day, a 15-hour day, it doesn't matter. The last year was stressful enough as it is. You do not want to come home and try to kick back and hang out with your homies. Maybe one's sweating, maybe one's memeing. You're just trying to vibe, and here you are in the sweat fest, like literally having the worst time of your life after an already stressful day. Put a ranked system in, okay? So now we've got that to the side. I don't know what the hell they're thinking, man. Honestly, nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. Cheaters, bro. I mean, guys, honest to God, I should see if I can find it. A stream I had the other day, Diamond 1 lobby. We had it was out of freaking control, man. Out of freaking control. We made it, I don't know, man, not very far before there was a dude that we just spectated him. In fact, we sent our last guy to try to engage with him to verify, because, you know, like, we never call cheaters, man. I mean, we're all really good. We play against very skilled players. The net code's trash in Warzone, and that's another thing. If you make $3 billion in 1 year, yo, buy some better servers. I'm serious, guys. And look. Let me just. I'm gonna be real with you. This is coming from somebody that, you know. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'm streaming right now, right? And actually, it's even worse for me because this computer that you're seeing this run off of, this is on an isolated, dedicated network on a professional network infrastructure that I built. The PC that it's going to is on its own isolated, dedicated network. They are not the same. So that just, I mean, if I'm complaining about this, and look, man, this shows you how bad this truly is, like, honestly. So we render out when a client, my computer, your Xbox, your PlayStation, when a client talks to a server, right, you send out packets, right? TCP packets. For faster communication, what you normally see is you need smaller packets. That's how they talk back and forth the fastest. So the biggest impact you see on that is with what you call buffer bloat. The reason you see this at 606 megs instead of over 1,000 is because I have a quality of service set up on mine, as well as TCP packet prioritization, so that I can make sure that my packets need to be exactly where they're at. That way, when you shoot me, I die, and when I shoot you, you die. All things are fair. So we're getting the network shit out of the way right now when we start talking about cheaters. So, I mean, I'm sorry, guys, you're not going to beat this, okay? This is with full optimizations down to the NIC level. 25 milliseconds, 22 milliseconds. That's pretty fire. Okay, so the cheaters. Look at this shit. This is out of control. Oh, this is out of control. And I'll tell you what we'll do. And I don't know if this will let me... I don't know if this will let me find it because of it's under live. We'll do this. Yeah, the cheaters, man. The cheaters. And I think it bothers some people more than it bothers me, honestly. Because I'm used to it. Maybe, I don't know. Was this it? Let's see.
Change your
I think this is it, guys.
mic
audio. So we're gonna mute this real quick, and you guys got to see this, dude. And you know what's worse is this is a dog shit cheater, honestly, because he had what is that shit? Aimbot, but he didn't. But his cheating algorithm didn't account for freaking bullet velocity. Like, how bad are you if you're aiming for heads across the map and you know your bullet can't reach that? But you guys will love this. This is fire. I am fairly certain this is it. I squad wiped an entire squad of streamers. It was a pretty good play, and then I saw them get wiped by Daddy, the infamous hacker. Let's do this. Let's see if this guy got banned. It's just so obvious. It's unfreaking real. And that's another thing. Like, you guys have the audacity to hide this shit. Like, why would you do that? Honestly. Let's try this. Oh, I bet you that was him. All right, so I'm gonna do this. Yeah, he dropped 42 kills, guys. 42 kills. And he was doo-doo, like, facts. Like, I don't know how. I legit don't know how. You know, the funny thing is, like, COD, to be a good COD player, I think he may have got banned, guys. Or they had that freaking streamer on Facebook that literally shows his hacks, like, and he was prestige twice. Like, who does that? So this was definitely a squad I was with, but this happened by bank over by the Twin Towers. Let's see if we can find this. That would have been too far. Do this. It's just unreal. We couldn't help but to spectate him, honestly. And I rarely do that. Actually, I think it was on the 25th. This was a pretty good match, man. That was a Diamond 1 lobby. If you guys haven't played in a Diamond 1 lobby, I know they look easy when you see the gameplay video. I watched one that I think the something Brit, super chill guy, but he talks about it. And I was reading the comments, I was like, man, y'all, a lot of people are like, man, if that's the lobby, sign me up. So I made some offers. Like, if you're above average player and you want to be in a Diamond lobby, hit me up, man. I'll put you in a Diamond lobby. You got to be above average though, because the way that it works, and people aren't really talking about this, but the way that it works is okay, so I'm Diamond 1 across all the classes. It's not just KD, it's not just win percentage, it's not just kills per game. It's a combination of all of them. And in fact, I think they're off because I am like 99% sure that Activision isn't just doing Battle Royale. I think they use Warzone entirely. So for the people that like to go slap down at Storage Town and stuff like that, I'm telling you, I'm 99% sure that's factored in. And the only reason I would say that is because if you have a couple shitty games in Blood Money or Plunder, which I still think is one of the most underrated modes, because everybody goes out and they watch these videos on what's the best gun and what loadout should I pick? Man, bro, that depends on that depends on this, dude, for PC players. Like, what's your sensitivity? Because if you have a higher, well, let's say you're running a higher sensitivity, it's for a gun that has more recoil, it's going to be easier for you to control that recoil with a higher sensitivity mouse, right? If you're a higher sensitivity player, rather. If you're a lower sensitivity player, you're going to have more precision when you need to stop on something, or you should technically. Most professionals are around 4,000, 4,500 EDPI, which is not DPI, it's EDPI. You have to do the math there. But hold on, let's get to this freaking. Well, this was the live streams 25th. Was this the one we were just on? Is this your Warzone lobby? Hackers? Oh, okay. Hold on here. This actually may be it. This actually may be it. No. 42 kills though. They killed him when he got out. Literally, this freaking guy, when he came back, his boys dropped their guns and they dropped their guns and ammo for him, yo. Like, who does that? Dude, this is nasty though, honestly. I remember this shit. I think I remember. Maybe I don't remember. Maybe it's not nasty. Ignore. I got destroyed. Definitely didn't. Yeah, and for now, I hear there's a lot of hackers in Battlefield 5. I haven't seen. I need to reinstall that game, honestly. But they killed me with just all of it. It's beautiful though, and the hit detection, man, dude. Oh my god, the headshots feel so good. This might be it. I just don't remember us dropping. Oh, there was a highlight. I must have did something cool. Let's see what this is real quick. It did something cool, or something crazy happened. Hell, I don't even know what I'm running, man. Oh, that's stock gun. Now we're pushing that team up there. Wow, let's not count those misses. Wait, hold on. Go back a little bit. We all went to the gulag on this guy. I mean, that was just no freaking brainer. See what I'm gonna do. I'm going to look. I'm gonna check my Facebook feed. I'll play with you on the weekend. I know, man. You a beast. Diamond lobby's easy as fuck. Yo, let's go. So that's over on Facebook. That's epicmoose.day. One of our Death Awaits You Syndicate. If you guys aren't part of that group, you should join the group. Like-minded people. If you guys like the vibes, you should join up. There's a good group of people. But let me check and see what we have. Let me see the date, because I had a notification. That Facebook group I squad wiped. I went to all their streams just to let them know, like, yo guys, the dudes that finished you guys off once and for all, they were hacking because we stayed and spectated. So dirty ass dudes. But again, I'm kind of, my mentality with that is, I know some people are very competitive. I feel that, but I just want to have fun, man. So that's kind of how I play, just to have fun. But I can tell you, I'd be livid if I was. I would literally be livid if I was playing for a win and literally that BS happened. I get killed by a hacker or whatever, and I've never caught a Warzone win, which blows my mind every time I'm out on social media and somebody comes out and they're like, they say they've never got a win in BR. I'm like, what? So if that's you, if you guys are watching and that's you, yo, let me know and we'll play some matches and see if we can't catch a dub. It's tough though, man. It used to be a lot easier than it is now. So I don't know if it's the real time nerfing or what, but it's a reality. So I found the stream, got this up. I think this was. So I just told him I wiped your team at 39. The daddy guy that fragged you the second time, 100% hacking, 42 kills, and we spectated him. That's what we want on my stream right now. We want to see that. Let's see how bad these effing hackers are. That looked like that was the 23rd. All right, 23rd. Let's check out the 23rd. This is the day before. Bathroom break. All right, so 23rd, live streams, 22 videos. I think we were going to play, I think we're going for Warzone and Siege that night, Rainbow Six Siege, and I think we just spent the majority of the time, quite honestly, I think we just sent it on freaking God, just because the boys were together. So we had a ton of day clan. Epic Moose was there. Love you, baby. Epic Lobster, who's like just a freaking unit, man. Oh my gosh. And I'm not. Oh, we had Epic Ghost, man. He's a freaking beast too. So we were having fun. We were rolling through lobbies, and actually, that was the frustrating part. We were absolutely decimating this lobby, and I'll pull it up, and then the hacker showed up. So, and that's another thing we should talk about. Hape is what's with the lobbies, bro? Like, how is it that you set a record for kills, and you're in a fucking bronze lobby where the average KD is 0.68 or some shit? Are you kidding me? That would be a buffet in my world, dude. I don't ever get lobbies like that. I'll be eating and eating and eating. I've never had a lobby like that. But I saw Jay God's video, just like you guys probably did, which look, man, I'm telling you, don't buy into all that stuff as far as the attachments, and we'll circle back to that real quick. Your sensitivity plays a role with the attachments you should be using. Go to your stats, look at your accuracy, look at your headshot accuracy, and work with that weapon, because the guns you land the most shots with are definitely going to be the ones that you want to use. You may use a AMAX that hits like a truck, but if you're not hitting them and you laser somebody with an M13, well, you should probably go with the M13 if your accuracy's higher. That's common sense. And what I'll do is, if I can't find it on here, I will blank this out for a second so I can pull over my actual channel, and I'll pull it by date based off the analytics. But it was nasty, man. But kind of fun to watch. I'll be honest with you, it was kind of fun to watch. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this real quick. Blank this out. Boop. Oh, that's crazy. I mean, if
this is stupid.
Yeah, this is great. You know what I want to see? Recognize guys freaking hacking, or people in these lobbies getting so used to it. So did he have? It is kind of fun to watch. Low key, right, guys? Him hitting these shots. Was he taking damage? Do you have got like God? It's fucking showing. Oh, bro, it's not fucking showing, is it?
I don't think there's God mode.
Oh my God, I failed. Then how did you not kill him? Do this. That's fucking tough.
Yeah, bro. He shot me through the wall when I was laying down, put the lights on.
Why didn't you kill him?
Yeah, he broke Graham's armor when he's resing me, and then
Let's
I laid
do
down,
this.
put plates on, and I just get straight to the wall.
Oh, look, he grabbed a Then how did you not kill him? Okay, so I need to report his teammates for basing.
Yeah,
no way, they don't win the game, bro. I mean, this. Motherfucker, sorry about that. Alright, so Daddy would be obviously
not coming off their heads. It's like headshot.
Oh, he's on, bro. He's on the bad. He's 100% cheating. Like you can't even debate this shit. Here, I'll look up his. Like you could that one, not a sketch. Like you could track that. That's not too bad. That one. I mean,
is that fun? Like
that one's not too bad. But some of these other ones are like blatant. Yeah. How many kills do you think this guy gets? Like he took a shot at a guy you couldn't even see him. This is a totally different level. But and honestly, this isn't even the worst of the hacks that you see. There's some hacks that just you're shooting through stuff that you can't even shoot for. And then yeah, speaking of, these assholes, Activision, they turn off, they automatically set everybody to private so you can't look at their KDs and stuff, so you know whether or not they're hacking. Played against a guy last night that was hacking, and he had a I didn't know at the time. The only reason I remember the name is because I killed him 3 or 4 times in a row in the pre-lobby, and he was freaking out. Of course. And but the reason I killed him is because he was never landing. I kept shooting him out of the air, so he didn't have his gun, so he just take a shot at me, and I was on airport where the air conditioner thing is, and I wasn't. I was hidden behind that where the bullets wouldn't go through, but they have all kinds of different hacks, I guess. Judging by ways I've been killed by hackers. That's fucking a hack. That's fucking a hack.
I mean, really? Yes, kill him! Oh,
we wanted that so bad.
That would have been so good. Please, we need hacker number 2.
I mean, but it's fun to watch, right? And I would be down to watch a tournament with hackers. Those like hackers versus hackers.
Yeah, this is crazy.
The worst ones though are the ones they got hacks where it outlines outlines the enemies, and it literally tells you what gun they have and everything. Like what? Like how? One thing I noticed is a lot of times when I'm next to enemies, you guys saw what my network looked like. I hope when I read those speed tests, if I had the thing showing, but even with no jitter, no buffer bloat, really high speeds, low latency, all that stuff. I mean, you know where you're at in terms of like network code, but this, I mean, servers are shit. He gets a fucking floor gun. Yeah, I know. I actually tried that SPR build. I didn't realize you could put attachments on them.
That'd be awesome if you could record this version.
Dude, I don't think they care. They literally have patents that have algorithms that hack.
You see that fucking shot a guy in the air? We just hit them all, guys, with the chats.
He's still having
trouble, or with the cheating and the boosting. Like, they ban your hardware. Hardware is expensive.
I want to see this guy go to the gulag.
He does, though. He does go to the gulag, actually. This is the best part, and then I'm gonna be done with this shit.
Oh, we switched over. You click that mouse. You switch over.
Oh, whoa.
I'm on alpha right
now. Okay, so he's out of the gulag.
Oh, he's dead? Oh, really? Watch, this is gonna be the first guy I buy. No, he does have gulags. How do we switch to the gulag?
There, come on.
Or not, he's not hacking, but. Yep,
there we go. This is nasty. What happens though is why these other kids should be banned. Facts. Now, if I had a dude on my team that was just absolutely whooping ass, I'd definitely give him my gun. Just kidding, I wouldn't. I'd be like, dude, you gotta get turned on.
This dude's gamer chair has RGB Ys, bro.
Well, here's the thing, bro. There's a person that, this is amazing, that had 12 kills with a 499 KD, but their name is Flash. This is definitely the same match because it has all of our. Oh, wait, the 449 was not him.
Or is it?
So they changed that 15-minute
lobby.
Refresh shit.
Top 5%.
This is why Activision should have never turned that off.
But the person that has the 499 is their name's Flash, and I don't see Daddy in here.
Yeah, we saw it the next match. It refreshed out. Okay, here we go.
Watch
but
this is gonna be instant.
The ending is like, what the fuck?
Oh my. We switched over. You can click mouse. You switch over.
All right, check this shit out. If this doesn't piss you off, you're mild mannered. You're a good dude or gal, good gal or guy.
20. Okay, he's got 20 kills or 20 dudes left. I say just.
Look at this shit.
Oh my! Look at that, bro.
He's like, here, take my shit.
Oh my gosh, dude, that's doo-doo. Yeah.
Honestly, I seriously, oh my gosh, I'm not even gonna go down there. In real life, this is a lobster. Awesome. He's down to throw down. Look at that.
Bro, don't get me started.
I just.
He walks up to like the octagon and he just breathes heavy. needs a seat in water.
Yo, that's tough. I forgot saying all that. You should be nice to one another. All right, guys, that's it for me, man. I appreciate you rolling through. God bless you, man. Stay cool. Let's get Battlefield 5, man. Please, sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? Sooner than later, or some real news. I said it by Friday. I think there'll be some links, man.